Hey guys, we're back on the rusty gas tank for Wallace the 66. In the last video, last week, you saw me pull that tank out and get rid of all of the nasty fuel that was in it. We peeked inside, saw a whole bunch of rust, pretty nasty stuff. And then we did step one of the KBS seal system for fuel tanks, rusty fuel tanks. So in this video we're going to do steps 2 and steps 3. Steps 2 and steps 3. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, we're going to try to finish this thing up. So let's just get right into it. Let's go. So this next step's going to do better in the shade. It says to keep it wet on the inside, don't let it dry out. That's why you have to move it from time to time. It says that this next step takes about an hour, and about every 5 minutes you have to stir the tank and get all the surfaces wet again with the rust converting solution. I'm not a scientist, but words on the paper say that it's going to convert the rust to a zinc coating so that it will accept new paint, the sealer will adhere to it essentially. In theory, will stop the rust from progressing. That's our goal, that's what we're up against. So I've got the tank set up here again, and we'll read the instructions one more time to make sure I understand what I'm doing, and then I'll get it dumped in there, and then we'll start the slosh process every 5 minutes. I've got my iPad over here. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the day and stir the tank every 5 minutes. That'll be fun. So that I can effectively slosh this stuff around really good, I'm going to seal this off. This is a quart-size freezer bag, and I'm just going to use great big rubber bands to go around this several times, just to see if I can get it to seal really good. It doesn't have to be completely watertight, but I don't want to lose any of this precious zinc magical science stuff. That should work as long as I don't bump that. Here we go. It says to use gloves. That's cute. Had a boss once tell me that the only thing you can do with gloves on is pee your pants. Alright, we're doing this. Here goes nothing. Set a timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes, counting down.
No turning back now. Alright. For giggles, I'm going to peek down inside there periodically and see what magic is happening. Okay. Did I get everything wet? Nope, I did not get everything wet. Okay, let's try that some more. It's a good thing I'm peeking. I think I'm too worried about it coming out the spigot. Alright, let's peek again. Okay, that's much better. Got it, nailed it, did it. It's already starting to turn black, which is the zinc. Sweet.
1 hour later.
Alright, so a quick update. The hour and about 5 minutes is done. I stirred it every 6 minutes because it's cool enough out here that it wasn't drying on the walls, so I just bumped it from 5 to 6 minutes. No big deal. That's what came out of this. Pretty dirty, mucky, gross stuff. Time to just rinse, and rinse some more till all the junk is out of this, and what comes out is crystal clear again. So I'm going to rinse it a few times, and then we're going to peek inside and see what the inside looks like we did after step 1. One thing of note, this stuff is a metal etch, so I'm assuming that it would also etch concrete. So I spilled some, I broke out the hose and just kind of wet it down and diluted it pretty good. anytime that I spilled some. So just a quick note, if you're doing it on concrete, be smart about it. An etch will also etch concrete, I'm assuming. Again, I'm no rocket scientist, but I'm gonna rinse the tank.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out.
Just to be safe, I hosed down that section of concrete that got some of that water with the etch in it. There's the tank. Let's take a peek inside and see what the difference is between after step 1 and after step 2. Alright, you can see the pickup tube there. We'll compare this to after step 1. Let me turn the light a little bit, see if we can see anything else. It's kind of hard to see, but the stuff we can see looks like it's treated and looking much better than it was before. So here's what it looks like after step number 1 before step number 2. Nice. And then we just set it out in the sun again to bake, get up to whatever temperature it can. It's currently 75 degrees out here. We have several more hours of sunlight, so I'm hoping that between the sun baking on it and the slight breeze we have, that it'll dry out nicely. So check back in once this is dry. So I used a funnel to put the stuff that I dumped out of the tank back into the blast bottle. It was up to about there, so between spillage and soak in to the metal, whatever, used, I don't know, 1/8 of it maybe? I don't know. I'm no rocket mathematician either. This is the sediment that was left at the bottom. I'm going to try to get that into the sun. It looks literally like sand mixed with rusty particles. There we go. Pretty nasty stuff. So now I'm just going to use the hose to rinse this thing out, and then I'll be able to use the pan for anything else that I need to. It did say to reuse this as needed, so I don't know. I'm hoping I'm done messing with that, right? We can just move to the seal phase of the operation, but we'll refer to the rules to make sure we're doing this right. Gotta let that dry first. That is step number, whatever step we're on, G. So it's 3 days later. This has been baking out here in the sun. We've had 0 rain. It should be really, really dry on the inside, which is what they said to do. So now let's get our handy little flashlight dilly bob and let's scope out the inside of that like we did before, so we can compare before and after. Well, after step 1 and after step 2. Yeah, that's where we're at. Right, make sure the flux capacitor is fluxing. All right, cool. Okay, you can see it. They said that it should have like a silver hue to it, color. Let's see if we can see farther down the tank. I can't tell in the sunlight with that tiny little screen what you're seeing. So I bought another tool. Ooh, right into the sun. I bought another tool. Let's try something else out. So I'm going to try to do this one-handed. This is a borescope. It's got a tiny little camera here on the end of that, and a little flexible hose that goes down inside of whatever you want to look at. Has the ability to take pictures and video. That's going to be super handy for looking down inside engines, it's going to be super handy looking inside a gas tank. I'm going to get this thing put together and then we'll try it out. See, that thing shows my face. At least I think it does. I don't know. You can't see it on there. It doesn't matter which way's up or down. Let's see. Something around that filler neck. Well, that is a pretty handy little tool. I've always wanted one of those. I see people using them on YouTube and whatnot, and I'm like, I gotta get me one of those. So I finally did. That's what it looks like inside the tank right now. I'm gonna go read the rules for step number 3. Again, the actual sealing part of this. This is where well, the prep work is all important as well. Doing this part properly, there's a lot of stuff that's in all caps in the rules for this part. So I waited until I had a good bit of time to be able to devote to this. You don't want a bunch of the sealant pooling up in one area, because I guess it gets too heavy and it doesn't adhere properly, and then that thick section starts to tear away, and then you just have a mess on your hands and you have to strip the whole thing out and redo it. If that happens on this tank, I'm buying a new tank. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I'm going to take the time to do this right and see if I can get a good coat of sealant all the way around the entire tank. It's got to coat everything in there. So I wanted to see what was going on up around the filler neck up in here and make sure that that area is good and treated for the rust, and how deep I can pour it in that corner before it starts to come out the top. I'm going to try to catch anything that comes out. I'm going to use the old fuel sending unit to seal this section here, and then I'll dump it in here, probably seal it with a bag again for rolling it around and whatnot, and then I've got to be able to see down in there to see what's going on. I've got to be able to get light in there to be able to see. I just got to make sure that I get all sections covered, and with these bumps in the back, as you put all the fluid down here at this end and you start working it back this way, I've got to get the fluid into this low spot and let it roll around inside there and coat everything, and then get it somehow from there over to this one, coat that entire section. So I may leave this out while I work on getting everything from like this half of the tank over sealed. Kind of a working game plan. I have no idea. We'll see how big of a train wreck this is. Anyway, this is an experiment. I'm doing it so that you don't have to. Let's get after this. I'm going to read the step 3 rules one more time to make sure I got them, and then let's do this. So I believe this is the part that they gave me the gloves for, so I put them on. We're going to open this and stir it, and it says to stir it from the top to the bottom, like pulling it up like this. They said not to whip it, don't shake it, that sort of thing. You don't want to introduce air bubbles. I guess air bubbles cause it to not stick properly or leave pinholes, and then fuel gets behind it. That would be a problem. So no air bubbles, that's the goal. So this like that. Woo! Smells like model airplane glue. Don't ask me how I know that. It says to scrape the bottom. Make sure you pull the bottom up to the top. Scrape the edges a little bit. No bubbles. Oh, this stuff is runnier than I thought it would be. I thought it would be thicker than this. It says just to disperse the silver product is what you're trying to do. So I think now that it's all kind of off the bottom, I'm ready to pour it in there. I'm gonna need a funnel. I'll be right back. Try not to make a huge mess here. My wife will be mad if I spill it on this chair. Luckily it's one that is starting to break. We're fine. See? Everything's fine. Pour it all in. I have no idea if this funnel's going to be ruined when this is over. Do I dare let that sit there and drain out? There's not enough left in that to worry about. Alright, point of no return. We have gone past it. Alright. You shake and I'll bake. How about that? There's so many little nooks and crannies in this thing. I have no idea if I'm getting down here. This is definitely why they gave gloves. Work to do down here at this end. This is going to be a workout though, I can see. They say a quart's enough to do this, but there's not a very big puddle down in there when I peek. Alright, I got that first section completely covered. Working on getting this section right here now. This end looks to be completely covered all the way up to the top and around. Don't know how to get it to stay in this little section right here. The puddle, when it hits the bottom, it just spreads across again. You don't end up with a big glob, so just keep working it. Oh boy, I'm dumping some out. Something's happening. Gotta move down here apparently. Oh boy. Alright, it's time to put that thing in and just roll it all over the place. Stuff's starting to stink too. Let's see what we can see in there now. Whew, it's a warm one today. Now's the time to check the inside of this and make sure that I don't have any big spots that I've missed. I dumped the excess out already, but I'm saving that and I'm going to peek in there real quick. I'm going to take the sending unit cap off so that I can get my light down in there and really be able to scope it out and see what's in there. And I may use the scope, but it's wet in there. I don't want to get that stuff all over my brand new tool. Yeah, don't want to do that. Let's see what we can see. And now it's time to relax. I set a timer on my watch for 5 minutes so I can flip that thing. Actually, I'll roll it this way, back again, every 5 minutes. That will help it to not pool in one spot and cause a problem, according to the rules. I kept one of the old screws from the fuel sending unit, ran that in and out of each of those holes to clear the threads, wiped it, ran it again, wiped it, ran it again. It says that in the rules to immediately remove excess sealer from the threads and the fuel lines. So I stuck my face down there and blew through the fuel line to make sure that it was clear, and it actually bubbled some out, so that's a good thing that I did that. It could have completely sealed the pickup tube. But my lips feel like they're sticking together. A little bit sticky. Oh no. I guess my lips are literally sealed. That's not good. One other thing it says in all bold and all caps is to let the tank dry naturally in a well-ventilated area. Do not place tank in direct sun or near direct heat. I initially set the tank right out there in the sun, like I did when it was drying. My 5-minute timer's going off. Time to flip the tank. It started to get hot, and then I read that and I was like, oh crap, hope I didn't blow it. It's starting to cool off now. Yeah. Reset my timer. Another 5 minutes. It's been several hours now. We're going to take a look down inside the tank. If I can do this without getting any of this stuff on the lens, it'll be a miracle. This stuff is super sticky, super nasty stuff. Anything I touch just turns to sticky gross. So very carefully, we're gonna see what we can see in here. Everything is super shiny, silver colored. Clear back to the back side of the tank. I think we got it. I think we fixed this problem. It says to let it cure for 96 hours. That's a long time. So I was hoping to have this back in the truck before that, but it is what it is. I am still rotating the tank about every 10 minutes now is what I've switched to, because it's starting to really solidify. There's no real puddling or pooling. In about an hour again, I'll switch that to every 20 minutes or so, and then eventually I'll leave it sit overnight in one spot and we'll see where we go from there. Lessons learned from this: if I was doing this again, I would lay a tarp down. I'd just buy, a cheapo tarp from Harbor Freight or something and throw that down before I even started. I ended up getting this on cement. I'm going to be building a shop right over here where the trailer sits, and we're actually coming out to the edge of this cement, so all of that cement will disappear, which means that this cement stays, and that's the cement I spilled on. I should have been doing this over there, but that was in the sunlight. Anyway, lessons learned, right? I may have even done this in my garage. That would have saved a little bit as well, maybe. I don't know. It's got some pretty strong fumes that come off of it, so you don't want to be in a complete enclosed space. And I don't like leaving my garage door open that long either, so. Anyway, just a few lessons learned on this. I'm going to sit there and flip this back and forth. I'll pick this back up again in, 90 some odd hours. And we'll take a look down inside the tank one last time. Maybe we'll use the scope. I don't want to get this stuff on that scope. It's brand new. So, well, in the meantime, I'm going to close this out so I can get a video posted for you guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Check the links down below. That thing, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm still working on how to get that thing to take crystal clear pictures, that sort of thing. I think the focal length, it likes to be close up, and those pictures that I posted were looking far enough away that it started to get blurry. That's a working theory at the moment. I'm still testing that thing out and getting used to it, whatever. Check the links down below. Amazon affiliate, I get a little kickback as a thank you for sending them business. Doesn't cost you guys anything more, but it's a great way to support my channel, and it helps way more than you guys could ever imagine. And I really appreciate that. Be sure and subscribe. Working on that truck a lot. Midnight Maroon is also a work in progress, obviously. I'm kind of focusing on Wallace the 66 because I've got to get that across the finish line. I'm actually going to be selling that truck to help pay for the cement work for the shop in the back. So it's one of those sacrifices I have to make in order to make some progress, move forward. As soon as that shop's built, I'll be able to take on additional projects and be able to hopefully get things done faster, because it won't be reliant on weather, that sort of thing. So anyway, this is getting long-winded. Love you guys, appreciate you watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Do all those things, you guys know the drill. And I appreciate all of you for watching. I'm truly humbled by the support that I receive from my viewers and the automotive community at large. Appreciate it, and we'll see you guys in the next video.